Hi, my name is Alex Poff. This proposal, called the Valley, is a hydrologic exploration in semantic satiation. Take a good look at this image and you'll see why at the end. Semantic satiation is essentially the repetition of a word which causes it to lose meaning to the listener. This also applies to extended inspection or analysis of an object. Now, the definition says that it becomes a meaningless sound or object for our purposes, and I disagree with that. I believe semantic satiation is the key to discovering new meaning within the familiar. Water is essential, the key to sustaining life. Yet in our everyday lives, it is severely underappreciated, treated as a nuisance, relegated to the gutters. What if we celebrated it instead? The goal of this proposal is to completely reframe our perception of water through design by making it the centerpiece of our everyday experience. Through acts of semantic satiation, ubiquitous encounters at both urban and domestic scales, the function and beauty of water are simultaneously harnessed and elevated. Water is known by the ways it is shed and through artful acts of collection. Our site is located slightly east of Atlanta, Georgia. It is located on the outskirts of Decatur within the parking lot for the East Lake MARTA station. The organization of this site plan and everything in the project from here on out is entirely based upon the previously existing site and the current existing surroundings. Straightening that curved road was the first step in restoring the urban grid. This is College Avenue and runs parallel to the MARTA track. The road placements were formed by extending the existing roads and alleys within the southern residential space up into the site. This directly connects both the site proper and the surrounding area to the MARTA station. Pedestrian alleys were added in between because the housing will be denser within the site than the surrounding neighborhood. A natural dip in the topography initiates a canal or valley to collect water for the public space. The newly straightened Park Place becomes the southern border of all the interventions. Altogether, you can see how the entire proposal conforms to its surrounds, restores the grid, and becomes its own unique logic in the process. This organization strategy will control the housing placement, road and alley systems, and most importantly, water collection strategies. On the topic of water, these two precedents have inspired the design strategies in this proposal. This is the Princess Diana Memorial Fountain. It uses water as the centerpiece, it's interactive with the public, and it uses textures to activate flow. This is the Chongai Canal Restoration Project. It also uses water as the centerpiece, it's interactive with the public, and it restores the city to its previous river conditions. Taking the design into 3 dimensions at an early stage was critical to developing a meaningful and consistent water collection strategy for the public space. From the beginning, there was an interesting interaction between north-south regulating alleys and east-west water collection valleys. The trick was to harness both of these forces in a cohesive way. This series of diagrams explains how the organization was brought into 3 dimensions. Here you can see it all together. And that method directly informs the construction of the ground plane. Everything in the light blue is part of the site's urban watershed. The royal blue lines are the channels that collect and move water through the site to the collection point. And here's the site with the housing from a northwestern vantage point. Energy will be produced for each prospective part of the site, the MARTA station, the shops, and the housing from the solar panels on their own roofs. Notice the green space is located along the central valley. The housing is located on the southern part of the site, directly adjacent to the surrounding neighborhoods. The housing with attached shops are placed closer to the public space and to the MARTA station. These are the main shops, located along the roadway, College Avenue, and closest to the MARTA station. This is the performance space with a stage and slope seating extending over College Avenue. This could be used for things like concerts or sports events. On a terrace above the MARTA station, there will be courts for basketball or tennis. Below the final water collection point will be a cistern, and this water will be showcased with a series of fountains and a splash pad. This is a series of transect sections cut in the east-west direction. And you can see it all together here. This is another sectional series cut in the north-south direction. You can see this animation. Cool. Here's a view of the main green space overlooking the housing units. This view shows the stage, the seating, the access point for MARTA, and the terrace atop the train station. The water is activated by spilling off the edges of this terrace in an artful way, similar to that of the housing units. Here's an eye-level view on College Avenue, showing the covered bus stop and the shop fronts. This is the water showcase area, looking at the housing patterning. This view is looking down one of the alleys, which is where all the units have their main entrance, separate from the attached shops on the opposite end. Notice the channel for the water down the center of this alley. This shows the corner of a street and the pedestrian canal space. The urban space is all activated by the water when it rains. As we move into the individual unit design, notice the alignment of the shop fronts along the public realm, all attached to their respective private units. The Pompeian house was a critical precedent because of its long linear blocks, outdoor courtyards, water collection, and attached shops. These were some of my initial unit ideas. I went with a combination of scheme 1 and 2, the central court and edge court. This is the first of 2 main floor plan variations. It includes a shop, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, a courtyard on the upper level, and 3,000 square feet total. Some important things to notice in this plan are the shop, located on the bottom floor on the right, the bedrooms to the left of that, the den and the stairs to the left of that, and then on the upper floor, you can see where those stairs come up. There's another bedroom, a courtyard, and the living and kitchen space on the right with a balcony coming directly off of that facing the roadway. The most important part, though, is the long, linear outdoor space on the top of each plan that extends through both levels of the floors. This is the space that the water will be collected and activated. It is visible from every single room. This is a series of isometric sections. This first one is cut through the shop on the bottom floor and the main living and kitchen area on the upper floor. This is cut through the upper courtyard and the bedroom and bathroom spaces on the lower level. This third ISO is cut through the den on the bottom level and a bathroom on the top level. This section is looking directly toward the linear water collection space. Some other things to note are the location of that shop on the left of the bottom floor, the bedrooms in the middle, and then the den, and just like in the plan, we have the kitchen and the living room on the left, the courtyard in the middle, bedroom and stairs on the right. This view is located in the kitchen and main living space, looking toward the courtyard at the middle of the unit. You can see how the long wall in the linear water collection space is activated when it rains. The gutters collect all the water from the roof and bring it around to that wall so that every room is adjacent to a view of the water spilling down. This is a view from within the shop space, and this is that same view activated by the water collection. This is the second of the 2 versions of the floor plan. It has no shop, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a large courtyard on the upper level, and again 3,000 square feet total. With the exclusion of the shop, the 3rd bedroom can now go on the bottom floor, which extends the square footage of the courtyard on the top level. This is another isometric series. This first is cut through the kitchen, living room, and a bedroom on the bottom floor. The second is cut through the courtyard on the upper level and the bedroom spaces on the bottom. This last one is cut through the courtyard again on the upper level and the den on the lower. This longitudinal section is cut in the opposite direction as the previous. This showcases how every room of the house has a direct view of that water collection area. This is a view of the den and of the staircase on the lower level, directly inside the main entrance off of the alley. And this is the same view activated by the water along the linear outdoor space. This is a view of the main bedroom and bathroom. And here's the same view again. The stepping of the site in different areas required variations be made to the floor plans to make up for this elevation change. This variation has a lower bedroom space and a higher den space. And this is where this variation is located on the site, the yellow being the strictly housing units and the orange being the housing with the shops. This split level has higher bedrooms and a lower den. And here's where those are located on the site. There's also an ADA version of each plan. You'll notice they aren't split level, and they also include an elevator in the middle of the plan. And these are located on the ends of the housing blocks for ease of access. To bring this idea of semantic satiation full circle, think back to when this animation was shown on the title page. It probably means a much different thing to you now than it did then. Now imagine seeing water activated like this from every room in your house every single time it rains. And then when you walk outside, you see it activated in the urban space in a similar way, the centerpiece of design. My guess is you would discover a lot about water that you never thought you would in a very short period of time. Thank you.